What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a visualizer comparison video. So this year I made a install video on how to install a visualizer, which is supposed to clear up your Livescope screen. So today we're going to talk about how that helped me throughout the year and show you a comparison video between a Livescope transducer without a visualizer and a Livescope transducer with a visualizer. And we're going to kind of look at some pictures, look at some videos, and we'll let you kind of be the judge on it. The visualizer is not really like a magic box, and it even says that in the description when you go on their website. It's Performance Fishing Electronics is where I got it from, and when you go on their website, it even says this is not a magic box. You still have to have your settings right. So too much filtering with your settings is going to take away the effectiveness of that visualizer. But basically the visualizer is just a box. It's mounted in my rod locker, and it's connected to the power on my black box. And it was extremely easy to install. You can watch the install video, but I had a lot of questions and a lot of people that wanted me to do a comparison video on it as well. If you have your settings set up perfectly for your boat, well, that's going to allow you to get an extra little percentage and maybe see a fish or two here or there. And it's going to really make those fish pop. It's going to make them pop off the bottom and cover, and any of those places that are sometimes hard to see fish and where they can hide pretty easily. So it's one of those things that, I mean, it's only 160 bucks. It's one of those things that I thought it was worth trying out, seeing if it would work on my boat, seeing if I was able to see a few more fish throughout the year, and I really think it helped. So let's just jump into some of the videos and some of the pictures and see what the difference is between Livescope without visualizer and one with visualizer. So starting out, let's look at a picture of like a channel edge or a channel swing. So basically this is a picture where it's like a ledge and it's 12 foot on top, and then it drops into like 30 plus feet deep. So as you can see in this picture, there's a little bit of a fuzzy line at the top of the ledge. This is a picture with a visualizer. If you did not have a visualizer, that fuzzy line would be more solid, and it would basically blend in with the bottom. Well, as you can see, at about 45 feet below, there looks like there's one suspended up in like 9 feet deep, but then there's 4 fish on the bottom that you normally wouldn't have seen without this visualizer, because that, like I said, that thin strip would have blended in with the bottom. Those fish would have not been able to get picked up on the bottom. A lot of times those fish can hide really close to the bottom with the Livescope, and until you pull them up, it's hard to actually tell where they're at. But there's 4 fish right on that drop, and they were actually spotted bass. But as you could see in this video, the fish sit so tight to the bottom, and you would not be able to see them without that visualizer, because that bottom would be blended in with the rest of the bottom. Kind of allows those fish to pop a little bit better on that Livescope screen. So as you can see in this video, the visualizer is on the bottom, the non-visualizer is on the top, and you'll be able to see some of these fish stand out a little bit better, and those fish can really hide on the bottom. And as they come up off the bottom, you can see them a little bit better with that visualizer. And it may not be a ton of a difference, but it makes enough of a difference to where if you see a few extra fish throughout the day to cast at, it can really improve your day, especially if it's a big one and you're able to make that fish bite. So like I said, the fish can hide really good on the bottom, and this visualizer has allowed me to see some of those fish on the bottom a little bit better, and it allows the fish on the bottom to pop a little bit more, and has really helped me out throughout the year. So this last picture I thought was really cool. The bottom is with a visualizer, the top is without a visualizer. And as you can see, this is a crappie stake bed out there. It starts at like 55 feet and ends at like 80 feet. It's a crappie stake bed, and you can see at about 30 to 35 feet, there's 2 fish that are on the bottom, and these are actually crappie. And the crappie were so tight to the bottom, you cannot see them on the top one. You can kind of make it out a little bit, but normally just going down the bank, you wouldn't think that's a fish. So the bottom one with the visualizer, you can pick out those fish a little bit more, and you can see that there's 2 crappie right there. And then as you go to the stake bed, you can see that it's the stake bed's a little bit brighter because of that visualizer, a little bit more crisp, and you can actually see it's not quite 65, but probably 62, 63 feet, there's one really bright dot in the middle of that, and that's a big crappie. So if you're fishing crappie tournaments or something like that, that's the type of crappie that you're going to want to catch. And you can see that in the visualizer screen, but you cannot see it without the visualizer. So that's kind of cool. That's a really cool picture, and it kind of shows the fact that some of those fish pop a little bit better in that cover. And I thought that was really cool. Like I said, you can see the cover a little bit better. It's a little bit more crisp, as well as you can see those fish inside that cover a little bit more. But like I said earlier, like, you're gonna have to have the right settings. If you don't have the right settings, it's going to not allow the visualizer to do its job. And it's going to clear up your screen a little bit to where you can see those fish a little bit better. You can see the cover a little bit better. And filtering out all that visualizer, all the stuff that the visualizer is doing, is going to take away the effectiveness from it. So it's not a magic box. You're still going to have your settings right. But I think that if you have your settings right and you put a visualizer in, I think it helps you enough to where I think it's worth the 160 bucks. But that's just my opinion. You can do whatever you want with it. And just figured I'd show you guys a little bit of a comparison between the visualizer and the non-visualizer setup. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.